put a finger down if you keep jumping from training to training style because you don't really know anything about them, and you didn't even know that there was different training styles to choose from, so you don't really even know what your training philosophy is. Therefore, you just kind of train without intention and just willy-nilly hope that it gets you the results that you want, but you don't really know what motivates you or why you do what you do. You just do it because you saw someone else doing it online. If that's you, we gotta fix it, and that's what this video is for. We're gonna talk about what a training philosophy is, how to know which one's for you, the pros and cons of them, and just really help you figure out what you need to know to keep you motivated and to help you stick with it, because at the end of the day, the best program is the one that you do most consistently. So, talking about training philosophies, everybody swears that their training philosophy is the right way to train. If you talk to bodybuilders, they think that theirs is the best system. If you talk to powerlifters, they think theirs is the best system, CrossFitters, etc. So, like I said, the best program is the one that you will stick to, not the one that someone else says is the best one to go with. The truth is that none of them are wrong. They're all just different species in the same jungle, so to speak. So I'm gonna break it down, and I have my notes, of course, and I'm gonna show you what each training philosophy means, what kind of person it fits best, and how to know if it's the one that'll keep you most consistent long term and not just what's trending. So, I am Kara, if you are new here, and I am an exercise scientist, a bodybuilder, an athlete, and a woman who's lived through every phase possible. I've been in a weight loss phase, I've been in a muscle gain phase, I've been in a I don't know what the fuck I'm doing phase. So, I've done it all, been there, done that. I've been personal training for almost a decade now. So I've also seen a lot of these patterns in similar personality types and the things that people say that they need when they need to switch training or they want a new program. And so I'm going to be using as much of my experience as possible to relay this information to you. And I think people just need to stop picking what's popular and start picking what aligns with your goals. And I think a lot of this is an ego thing. Once you start to align with something and you tell people about how wonderful it is and how much you love it, and then you decide you don't love it so much anymore, it's really hard to let go of it, even if you aren't enjoying it. And that's why people just fall off, because instead of trying to find what's gonna refuel my fire, they just kind of give up and then hope they find the next best thing. Whatever it may be that some unlicensed person online is recommending they do. So, what is a training philosophy and why should you have one, essentially? So it's not just your workout split or your workout schedule, it is the belief system behind your workouts and why you do what you do, your why and your how. So it's what you prioritize. So if you prioritize strength, you're gonna do powerlifting or some hybrid of powerlifting, and if aesthetics, obviously bodybuilding or something similar. You can also go for skill and performance, which are kind of one and the same, but I would put skill under mastery, being really good at what you choose to do. Or some people just want it for health and longevity, and they just want something that's gonna keep them consistent and keep them moving. So if you don't know exactly what your purpose in the gym is, that's what you wanna find first. Especially me in the past, I used to be doing workouts because I did not like how I looked. I was doing it from a place of hate and not necessarily any other goal besides being smaller. I wanted to lose weight, and I didn't really have anything else that was fueling me. So obviously you burn out and things don't feel as fun, or it starts to feel really torturous. For me, I am not the type of person training is something that I have to do. It's just a part of my day. I love it. And so you don't have to, it's not that I stop showing up, it's that I stop enjoying it. And to me, that's just as detrimental, because then it's not the release that I want it to be. So you have to actually truly have a goal for yourself, outside of just trying to lose weight. If you're just trying to lose weight, I would recommend that you watch a nutrition video, because you cannot out-train a bad diet. But if you want to lose weight and keep really sexy muscle, then you should probably look into hypertrophy or bodybuilding training. But if that doesn't fit your personality style, which we'll get into, then you might want to consider something that's more hybrid. So think of a philosophy like your gym religion. It's the values that you move upon that determine how you move in your workouts, how you recover, and how you measure progress, and just overall what you're aiming for as a result of your workouts. So once you understand that, you stop hopping from to influencer and you start training with an identity that aligns with who you are and not just who the internet is saying. And so it's okay to try different things and see if it's for you, but the problem lies in not knowing why you're trying it or why you're doing what you're doing. So I'm gonna go over the big training philosophies. Some you'll probably recognize, some you may not, but the first one, and I'm gonna start with the ones that are most prevalent and I have the most experience seeing, but bodybuilding / hypertrophy training is the first one. This one is all about training for shape and symmetry and control. You are definitely chasing a pump, but you're also trying to produce as much time under tension as possible. Every repetition has a purpose. It's very focused, it's very structured, and it's very science-based as well. I think there's a lot of people who try to bro their way through bodybuilding that don't compete, which is perfectly fine. The lighting has got some quite dim in it. So people definitely try to fuck, I can't tell if this is in focus. Hello? Oh, girlfriend, am I in focus? Hope so. But people definitely don't try to not use science with bodybuilding / hypertrophy training. But there's a lot of science about hypertrophy training because muscle is very beneficial, and it's very interesting to see what causes muscle change and growth and what does not. So I'm assuming that they like to do the research because it's more fun, but that's what I would do if I was still in the research realm. But so hypertrophy obviously thrives off of progressive overload, and there's tons of ways that you can do that, and mechanical tension and volume. So the pros of hypertrophy training is that there is incredible structure. So if you're like me and you like to have structure, you like to see physique changes, you have a great body awareness of how your body moves, then hypertrophy training might be for you. But the cons are that it can, for me, I don't mind doing the same workouts for months or weeks on end. But if you like a little bit of variety, which is a topic for another time, I think that you guys just need to suck it up. But it can feel repetitive, and if you're not careful, you definitely start training for the mirror rather than yourself. So just be very aware, again, of what your purpose and intention is, and you shouldn't get roped into that. I came into bodybuilding in a later time in my fitness journey. I feel like a lot of people start it earlier in their journey. I like that I started it later because I'm now doing it from a place of love instead of a place from hate. So it's a lot easier for me to not get into those toxic habits. But bodybuilding hypertrophy training fits those who love discipline and detail, and you will definitely see more results if you're tracking your macros or paying attention to nutrition. But I think it's a very fruitful way of training. Most people land on a combination of this and the next one, which is powerlifting or strength training. And this is for the people who like to feel strong, who like performance metrics. So you would rather see that you're lifting more weight than necessarily seeing the scale move as often. I just moved twice my body weight strong, and it's really focused on the big 3 lifts of squat, bench, deadlift. And this is very heavy and consistent and structured, and you have to have periodization with this. So you do have to actually follow a good program. You can get stronger willy-nilly, but eventually you're gonna hit a cap where you have to either start working on form or start using better progression techniques. So this also builds a lot of self-trust, and I think that it shows you how much you can really push yourself. And this definitely boosted my confidence, obviously my bone density, my metabolism was really fired up, and this strength training is what I did before, or I did power building, which is a combination between the hypertrophy style and the strength style. You keep the heavy foundational lifts and you still try to progress in strength with those, but you're working in hypertrophy and your accessory lifts. So that's what I was doing before I switched to just straight bodybuilding. But powerlifting, or a combination of powerlifting into the power building is perfect if you're super goal driven and you love numbers and structure. And this is where your progress is the proof. And your body can definitely change a lot. My body changed a lot when I started lifting heavy. My legs looked a lot better. My shape looked a lot better. But again, it depends on how you're eating. So I think a combination of those two is also a really good training style. Again, it's called power building. You focus on, I believe that one adds in hip thrusts and other things too. But it's just a combination hybrid program of powerlifting and bodybuilding training. So next one is for people who definitely need variety and community to stay consistent. And this would be functional training, which would also be like CrossFit, fall in the category of CrossFit. So this is about performance under pressure. It's a lot higher paced. There's cardio, endurance, mobility, and strength, and a lot of chaos. So you'll never be bored, but you'll definitely always be humbled. It's not my favorite training style. I prefer to have something more focused and individualized. I do not like lifting with a partner. I do not like lifting around people. I do not like breathing the same air as somebody else in the gym. So I like to be in the very last treadmill, the very last Stairmaster. Working out is a very independent thing for me. But if you're someone who wants the community because it's hard for you to show up and you like variety, I think classes or functional training is a great place for you to go. I will say though, I used to teach classes and my goal was to have it be really hard. And so I think that again, you're better off combining this with something else like strength training or power building and having this be your cardio. But again, it just depends on what you can stay consistent with. And some people really thrive off of the CrossFit and they do 3 times a week because it's a little more intense and you can really get away with that. So if you crave intensity and you're competitive, whether with yourself or other people, and you want every workout to feel like a good challenge, but feel like it gets done pretty quickly in your mind, then that might be the training style for you. The next one has been a huge wave recently, and I would rope Pilates and yoga into this as well. And this would be calisthenics, minimalist training, or mastery training is another good name for it. And this is just like body control on another level. So not just no machines, and you're just focusing on controlling your body, mastering certain moves. So this would be with calisthenics, pull-ups, planks, push-ups, skill-based strength, but also there's a lot of those things that translate into yoga and Pilates. Pilates is actually great for injury prevention. So again, a combination program is probably the best for most of you, but whatever you'll stay consistent with. So the pros of this is that there's some functional strength and training, balance, and obviously you can train anywhere. You don't have to worry about equipment and it's free. YouTube you can use as a resource or look up things or come up with your own things. And the cons are if you're wanting to see a lot of physique changes, physique changes, I should say, this may not be the one for you. There is a tough learning curve, but again, I think that you guys are all very capable of learning these things, and moving your body weight is a precursor for moving weights. So if you don't know where to start, this would probably be a good place to start too. And this is for people who really love mastery and find beauty in control and flow. And this could also be for someone who likes a little bit of variety because you can mix and match and figure out what you need. But this is also should be very mindful. You can, of course, do all of these things without being very mindful, not as fruitful as being mindful. So I think that having a combination of all of these is the ultimate win. And that would be called hybrid training. Some people call it athletic training. You've seen hybrid athlete training. With the birth of the high rocks and the flare and popularity of the high rocks, hybrid training became more of a norm on social media. And most advanced lifters or people who have been lifting for a long time naturally do some sort of hybrid training. Like I said, I was doing power building, but I still threw in some calisthenic stuff. I really liked push pull-ups, those types of things. I think body mastery is just a really fun skill to have. And so again, you can combine these in any way that feels good for you or that feels consistent for you. You just have to be consistent with it. So if you decide you want to do one day of power building and then one just pure strength training where you do your 3 big ones, and then a day where you do all calisthenic stuff. That's perfectly fine so long as you're consistent with that schedule. So weekly you have that calisthenic session, weekly you have that strength session, weekly you have that power building session, whatever it may look like for you. If you're just starting, I recommend you start with 3 times a week or 10 minutes 5 times a week, just something that'll help you get in the habit. It just depends on how your brain works as far as frequency goes. And then as you build up, and of course it depends on your schedule too, as you build up, then you could add more days or you could add time to those days. So you don't have to do them all separated. But the pros, obviously, of some sort of hybrid training is that it's very sustainable. It's very well-rounded typically because you're pulling from different areas, and the con is that it can get really chaotic, like I said, if you're not structured with it. So just make sure you have a structure around your hybrid training, and you might like the structure of bodybuilding, the strength aspect of powerlifting, and the athleticism of the functional stuff, and maybe some mobility from yoga. And you can definitely have all those things, but you just have to make sure you organize it in a way that you can be consistent with it. So obviously kind of tandeming the intense days and making sure they're not back to back, or making sure it just fits your schedule. Don't just say that you're gonna work out 5 times a week because your favorite influencer works out 5 times a week, and then you realize that you have 3 kids who all have sports after school. You also have therapy after those kids have those sessions, and then you also have to make sure that you do the laundry, cook dinner, do the dishes, get your stuff ready for work tomorrow. You're gonna feel really overwhelmed. And your schedule, even if it's overwhelming, might still feel okay for you, and that's okay. But that doesn't mean that you adding in something that is a complete shift in your day is going to be possible. Just start with what you know is 100% doable. Get really good at showing up to those 3 times a week, or 2 times if 3 is too much, and then start to add in some things. And so those might look like 2-hour-long sessions, and then as you add days, maybe to go down to 4 30-minute sessions. Just pick what you will be consistent with, and then if you can only get those few workouts in, you could either pick a different training style for each and repeat them weekly, or my favorite is to sprinkle all of it into those 3 workouts. So that could look like starting with my heavy lift, so maybe each day has a different strength workout added to it. So maybe Monday I'm working on my squat, maybe I'm working Wednesday on my deadlift, and bench on Friday. And then on top of that, what muscle groups do I want to grow? So what muscle groups do I want to be my hypertrophy training to add into my strength training? So maybe I want to do hip thrusts, and then something for glutes on each of the days. Maybe I do hip thrusts, Bulgarian split squats, RDLs. And then I want to also grow my shoulders. So maybe I do shoulder press, lateral front raise superset, shoulder press machine. You know what I mean? So you just sprinkle all of it in, and for whatever your goals are, just make sure you look up the science of what reps and sets and stuff you should have for your goal. Typically, if you're going for strength, you want to be anywhere from 1 repetition to 8 repetitions, depending on the intensity there. Even sometimes up into 10 for hypertrophy. As you can see, there's a lot of crossover. You're gonna be in that 8 to, depending on how advanced you are, you can get up to even 25 to 30 reps, but more commonly probably in between that 8 to 15 repetition range. And then for endurance training, you're gonna be 15 plus reps for almost everything, which would be really good for conditioning. And then for the sets, it just depends again on your capabilities, the time you have, and how advanced you are on how many sets you should have. A great place to start for sets. If you're really beginner, start with 2 sets per exercise. If you've been doing it for a while, but you've been pussyfooting around and not really had a good training program, start with 3 to 4. And for me, for my heavy lifts or the lifts I really want to prioritize, I'll even do 5 to 6 reps for some of, or 5 to 6 sets for some of them. So just know what you're doing and why you're doing it, and the philosophy behind it, and you can put together your own hybrid program in that way. That's a very layman's terms, quick definition, but I can definitely do another video on how to make your own program from scratch. And then how do you know which one you should go for? And I'm gonna say the goal alignment. So what's your end game? If you wanna build shape and symmetry, hypertrophy is your go-to. If you like strength and seeing numbers change, powerlifting. If you just want all around athleticism, then functional training is great. Control and aesthetics, you could do calisthenics, or bodybuilding also falls there. Longevity and balance would be hybrid. You can get longevity and balance in all of these, but again, usually you got to pull from some other areas just to take care of some things that you should. And then 2, the psychology, be honest about what keeps you coming back. Do you chase numbers? Do you need to see your results? Do you like the chaos? Do you like the control? if your workout doesn't fit your personality, it's definitely not gonna last and you're not gonna stick with your program. And again, consistency is key. So if you can't stick with it, consistency is falling a little short there. And the feedback loop is ask yourself what kind of progress fuels you. So visual, performance, or skill, and then figure out a way to track that, whether it's weight, measurements, pictures, videos of form, going up in lifts, or whatever it may be. If just like mastery of a certain skill, then you definitely need to pick the path that keeps your motivation alive. And also, if it fits your lifestyle is a huge thing to consider. So if you got 2 kids, a job, and a social life, don't pick a style that demands 2-hour sessions 6 days a week. So maybe bodybuilding isn't for you, but maybe power building or hybrid training is for you. But not to say that you can't do bodybuilding if you have less time than that. But like I said, it's usually pretty science-based, and after a while, you do have to start increasing time and sets just to continue seeing progress. But if you're a beginner, pick what you want. And then, like I said, the best program doesn't matter if you can't stick with it. So stay consistent. It isn't a fling. It isn't like a one-night stand with a program. It's a long-term relationship, and just like any relationship, it's going to evolve as you evolve, and you'll outgrow phases, and you'll fall in and out of love with certain training styles, and that's okay. You flow when you adapt and you find a new routine, and you might start bodybuilding, go into powerlifting, do a hybrid training, dabble in CrossFit, and end up doing something completely different. And that's just evolution. That's not necessarily inconsistency unless you're not giving each of those phases a good amount of time to try out. So if you try it for, honestly, even if you try it for a month, you're probably, unless you just really fucking hate it, you're probably not going to be able to get past the first learning curve of anything new. I would say stick with something for at least 8 to 16 weeks and see how it goes, and see if you feel better, if you like it, if you stay consistent, and then decide if it's helping you grow. And your loyalty is to your growth, not necessarily a label or an identity or a style of training. So definitely find your flow. And there is no best training philosophy necessarily. Like I said, the best thing is the thing that you personally will stick with, and the thing that makes you feel strong and confident and keeps you curious and keeps you wanting to grow and learn, and the one that you will show up to when motivation is not there. Because again, we follow a plan, we don't follow feelings. And so you're showing up to these things even when you don't feel your best. And so is it something that's going to help you feel better? And do you have different plans for maybe if your motivation is lower, maybe you like to do calisthenics stuff when you're not feeling very motivated, and then you circle back to your big stuff. Doesn't matter, just find what your philosophy is. And that's when discipline meets enjoyment, and it actually becomes way easier to show up. And then if you show up, you're going to glow up. So you just have to find what you're gonna be sticking with, you know what I'm saying? And other than that, that's really all it is. But I am going to show you guys how to build a hybrid plan. I'm probably gonna do one. If you guys have something specific you have a goal around that you wanna see a video for the hybrid plan, go for it. I'm gonna show you guys how I personally just restructured my workouts that I just started new workouts. And I'll show you guys how I structured that and how to think about how to structure your own workouts. Because ultimately, obviously we all wanna be self-sufficient in the gym, and to know how to put together a program is a great way to get more self-sufficient. And this is perfect timing, because now I have to take my creatine and fiber and do Bible study. You see my Bible right here? It's pink. I'm gonna show you guys my notes. But right now I'm in fucking Job. So these are my notes. This is what my notes look like. It's just one page. I'm a writer. I love to take notes, and I love knowing different things. This is another page. Oh shit, those are my sticky notes. But I'm about to do this. I am still going to go through Job. Very interesting. But so, peace.